Beau, played by Joaquin Phoenix, lives in a post-apocalyptic shithole. In the streets, there's a naked man stabbing random people. Of course, this is A24. There has to be naked old people in there somehow. One guy jumps off a building and no one even collects the body from the street. People just walk past it. People are shooting up heroin right beside cops, flirting with hookers. Complete anarchy. And so, Beau gets a call from his mama.
Beau, you need to come home, honey. That place is a shithole. It's like Skid Row times 10.
And the rest of the movie is him trying to get back to mama. Will he make it? You'll have to watch the movie. Hello. Thanks for being here. Beau Is Afraid made me afraid to see another Ari Aster movie. It was 3 hours long, so I had to pee in a soda can. Luckily, I didn't spoil it, and so will I with this spoiler-free review. Ari Aster had $35 million to work with, the biggest budget he's ever got, so he made sure it's bigger and weirder than his last two movies, Hereditary and Midsommar, both with $10 million budgets each. But bigger doesn't necessarily mean better. In certain situations, yes, bigger is better, if you know what I mean. The comedy is absurd. I don't even think this was a comedy. I probably only laughed one time. Remember the bagel in Everything Everywhere that represents some kind of meaning? This movie has sausage and eggs, if you know what I mean. That's the only time I laughed, so I wonder why it's categorized under comedy. The editing is signature Ari Aster with jump cuts and matching cuts. The camera movement, the cinematography, it's all high caliber. There's one scene where Beau is talking with someone he doesn't know over the phone. We only hear the guy's voice, but every time the dialogue gets more intense, the camera zooms in just a little bit. And it was a 5-minute long single shot filled with tension, and it felt like 30 seconds. If only the whole movie was like this. It's character-driven. Gosh, big words. All I'm trying to say is that he's in every scene. The story is told through his perspective, so you only know what he knows. Every twist and turn, you experience it with him. He's the only one you can trust. Everyone else might be lying. For example, Amy Ryan plays this mysterious character. She seems like a nice person, but you don't really know what she's thinking because everything is from Beau's perspective. Ari Aster is a master at letting you think this character is good, but there's a twist and there's suddenly someone else. Every character in this movie has that twist. At some point, you'll find out they're not who they say they are. The first 30 minutes moved fast. Something new is always happening. Then it faded. I fell asleep a couple of times because some sequences were just too long. Especially this 20-minute long cartoon montage. It feels like a totally different movie shoved into the main story. It does have a point and it's a good one, but it doesn't need to be 20 minutes long. I actually saw some people leave the theater like after an hour because that's when the plot dragged. I thought they just went to the bathroom, but they never came back. I know because I wanted to walk out too, but I stayed. I fought through that boredom for you guys so I can make this review and warn you about it. But if you can sit through some of its absurdity, you'll be rewarded with a mind-blowing twist in the end, just like in Hereditary and Midsommar. The ending gives you an aha moment, so the last 3 hours didn't feel like a total waste of time. If you don't know Ari Aster, he's kind of A24's prodigy filmmaker that made the studio famous. Like, if I watch an A24 movie, I'd expect an Ari Aster feel. Something very weird with a mind-blowing twist in the end that makes you think, what the hell did I just watch? I want to see more. That's kind of what A24 did with Everything Everywhere All at Once, and it totally worked after it won everything at the Oscars all at once. But this movie, Beau Is Afraid, has weirdness level 10 compared to Everything Everywhere. And yes, I came out of the theater thinking, what the hell did I just watch? But in a bad way. The biggest difference between this compared to Hereditary and Midsommar is that those two movies ended when they needed to end. Beau Is Afraid overindulges, unfortunately. Because of Ari Aster's success, A24 gave him freedom to do what he wants and go crazy with it. I think the same thing happened to Taika Waititi in Thor Love and Thunder. Because of Taika's success with Thor Ragnarok, Disney gave him creative freedom, and we all know how that turned out. I think maybe Ari Aster should just stick to what he does best, which is psychological horror. Horror that makes you think. It's not the usual where someone goes down the basement with a flashlight while suspense music plays, and when the music stops, that's the cue for the demon to come out. The scare you get from a jump scare only lasts a few seconds, but psychological horror lingers for days, and Ari Aster is a master of making you feel weird. If you've seen the movie, I made a spoiler video right here where I try to make sense of all this madness. See you next time. Thanks for watching.